don't know what he's doing. Make sure to subscribe. Click that button. Blow that button up. Subscribe. And get the merch. Yeah.
Hit the bell. I don't know. So before we get to today's topic, which again is brand new research, groundbreaking research that helps us understand what factors are most strongly associated with relationship satisfaction over the long haul in your marriage. We'll get to that in just a minute.
What's up, Sheila? What's up, Mike, Carol? Callie says good morning. She says we're her favorite people.
I don't blame
And Sheila says good morning. Starting the day with some sarcasm. Had to be talking about you.
You're talking about you?
No.
You with all the sarcasm you were saying over there?
I was saying you look so handsome.
She's talking about you.
Okay, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Let's let the record show that, of course, we have our canoe trip a week from Friday.
Yeah.
A week from Friday that, again, you would have to sign up for, Mohican Adventures. I'm going to be there with Sarah. She's going to be there with Len. Our station manager, Josh, will be there with his wife, Mimi. Kelly's going to be there. You could show up, too. We'd love to have you grab a canoe and go, but it's not officially sponsored by us. We're all just going to happen to show up at the same time. It's very COVID safe because you're in a canoe. You can be socially distanced, all that. And you can tell her, don't touch me.
Bring your masks, by the way. I just went on Saturday, and on the ride back to your car in the bus, they're telling people, wear your mask.
Yeah. So that's the point, is that Jannelle went a while ago, and that inspired this trip. She's so competitive and so intense.
That's not why I went.
She went back again.
It was awesome. I went on Saturday. The pictures are on my page. And we didn't even have men except for my teen boys. And we were taking care of business. I sat in the back. And I had to switch halfway because my kids were acting crazy. And guess who I was canoeing with? Elijah. One of my more funky, kind of crazy kids. And I was handling business, and I beat everybody all down the canoe.
But she's not competitive, notice.
Thank you.
Notice that. She's not competitive.
It just happened.
By the way, is there a correct way to paddle, Jannelle?
Yes. Not to paddle, the correct side. All that stuff y'all would talk about, like swerving and stuff, you didn't have to do all that.
So there's a right way and a wrong way to paddle, and you were paddling the wrong way before.
Yeah.
Did you tell Len this?
But there's also, yes, I did. And there's also,
she just
if you're sitting in the back, there is a way to compensate for the person what the person is doing in the front.
Take me back to the conversation with Len.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
You got home and you said,
I'm not telling you.
Len, oh my goodness, you were right and I was wrong and I made canoeing more difficult for you.
I did not tell him there wasn't a correct way. I said, if you were paying attention, can you just give me the instructions? It's like, just tell me.
Poor Len.
That's what I said. Why are you skipping that? Why are you skipping that?
He's not here.
Why are you skipping that? Because you were saying, no,
and
see?
She's over
Look
here.
at you.
We discovered
wow.
She's learned that Len was right, but she just won't tell him.
Oh, my goodness.
Did you tell him?
I did tell him.
What did you say?
I said, I sat in the back and I see what you were saying. I see what you were trying to say because he never said it. That's the point. That's the point. Thank you. You weren't listening. Gotta listen. Listen up.
Okay.
Eva, what's up?
Sounds good.
Theola, good morning. You guys, I put the link up to Mohican Adventures. Click it and we're doing trip number 1, which is 7 miles. Sheila says, admitted paddling incorrectly? What?
Everyone else is with me in understanding how to interpret this, but you can twist it into whatever you want, Jannelle. Go ahead, that's fine.
No, seriously, all jokes aside. Can I ask you a question?
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, fine.
No, go ahead. Ask me a question.
I said he wasn't given clear instructions. And you even said, well, there's a reason he wasn't doing that. Because he was, you don't remember? I didn't say he gave me instructions. The whole point was he didn't give me instructions.
But do you remember the other point, though?
What?
That one of the reasons Len wasn't being clear is because you resist the idea that there's one way to do things?
No, I don't know if that was the case at the pound. Because he gives me instructions for anything else, including homeschooling.
It's going to be a fun
Thank
trip.
you.
All of us, we're going to let them be in the middle. We should surround them with our community.
Whatever. We can be doing amazing.
Because
I learned. I do.
All about
I was sitting in the back and I beat my son Isaiah, who is like cut I beat him. Thank you.
By no means is this a recipe for conflict at all. But she is exactly confident.
Len was cheering for
knowing
me
what to do.
because he was like, "That's great. I'm glad you got some practice."
Sarah
Thank
and
you.
I will probably struggle a bit, but we'll learn a lot about each other in the process.
Oh, that's awesome. Lydia, good morning. She says, I have missed Facebook Live with the two of you. Been busy. So glad to have you back. Hey, Jennifer. Gary says, good morning, family. Hashtag Team Brian, winner of the Great Canoeing Adventure. We ain't there yet. And he said, for the record, he's like, I'm not there to race. I'm going to spend time with the listeners. A week ago, he was all about racing and taking Len down. Nope. As soon as I got more practice.
Can I explain?
Thank you.
Can I explain?
No. You're just mad I got some practice. I
can't explain. I'm sorry. She won't let me explain.
Okay, go ahead.
Len doesn't show up unless you motivate him in some way.
Please.
Len is historically is too busy, too tired. He's got to work. You got to come up with a reason to motivate Len Nevels to show up somewhere. So I created one that I could take him in canoeing.
That's good.
And guess what? He's showing up. So whatever. Who cares?
Whatever. I did a great job, and I'm an awesome canoeer. And Len is cheering because now we're like gonna be amazing.
Who's gonna sit in back?
He can sit in back. I'm good. I could do either one.
You will allow him to sit in back.
That's not how I meant it.
No
Pamela says Brian's padding his loss. Exactly, Pamela. That's right, because I was like, I got it. I was like, whew. I was even doing this technique that my kids taught me. Drop the paddle, Ma. I was like, yeah, ooh. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it wasn't even, huh? To use it like a rudder?
It was tight, though.
Pamela.
Thank you. It wasn't even about being strong, like, oh, the guy's got to sit him back. No, it's technique. I got it down. And then I end on my team, it's over. Oh, man. Pamela's happy. He's happy you practice until, it'll be his reason you won. Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Did you get a haircut? Gary says he will win the weight loss of Brian's haircut. Jennifer, thank you. Team Jannelle, she says, it sounds like Brian's backing down. Thank you.
You're biased, Jennifer Jones, because you were in some kind of webinar with her.
Sarah said, oh, Jennifer is awesome. Oh, and we have another webinar, but it's about homeschooling. And so if you want more info, go to my page. Sarah says, Brian, I have not declared a team, but you're pushing me to Team Jannelle. Nothing is worse than a person who refuses to hear an admission of change. Jannelle, great job learning to do better. Woo! And it was so awesome because I was like, baby, I sat in your shoes and I get it now. Len is cheering. He's like, that's my baby. Go ahead. Joe says she's talking a good game, Brian. Yeah, but now he can't say nothing because he says, I'm not there to race.
I'm going to be in a boat with my lovely wife. There'll be no children around. We'll have entertainment with you and Len, talking junk and fighting and arguing and...
We're not.
Tipping over when I tip you over. What would you do if I tipped you over?
I would be mad. So let me wear my hair curly just in case. Adrian, what's up? Okay, go ahead.
So...
Oh, can we bring a speaker? Because we did on Saturday. It was amazing. We were blasting the music. It was so awesome. Can we do that?
Do you like
Can moody people do that?
Pretend like she needs to ask somebody to do something.
No, because I don't want to look crazy. And then it'll be like... So I'm going to bring some music, y'all. Okay.
Do what you want. Your name's on the show.
Oh, can I say something since we're here? So
she asked again. No.
I know.
You can't.
We brought a speaker, right? And so it's like 8 cousins, which are all my kids and my sister's kids and my 3 sisters. And then we don't got Len to like control us. Because, Len's grown. So Len would be like, turn that music down. So we were like blasting the music, having fun. And then these people... Eventually we passed by, they were like, you were the ones playing Mexican music. And my son looks at me like, oh my gosh, Mexican music? Like any Hispanic music that people hear is like Mexican music. And we were like, should we correct her? No, it's fine.
You should have paddled over there. Excuse me.
That was not Mexican music. It was Caribbean. It was fun though.
So
basically, please come. It was so fun. And so it would be cool to be with you guys.
Do you know the other part of her plan? She's going out to lunch with my wife this week to start talking some junk.
That's right. We're going to Brassica, where my son works. So we're going to get some good food and a discount. And then we're going to be talking about Brian. She always says the opposite of what she be
married
saying,
me.
Brian.
She loves me.
All right, so we could talk
I'm
now.
her favorite. She doesn't like you as much as she likes me. So
Amanda's there, and she says she's still faithful to Team Brian in Ecuador with Sarah.
thank you.
All right, go ahead.
Listen to your children. So, really interesting groundbreaking study focused on the family sent this out. They're not part of it as far as I can tell, but it's from the Institute for Family Studies. And they highlighted this piece of research by Samantha Joel and Paul Eastwick. And it's a longitudinal study, and it looks at data from 11,196 couples. So this is a long-term couples who stayed together analysis. And this massive study examines one core question. What factors are most strongly associated with relationship satisfaction? So for people to report satisfaction in their marriage, what factors are strongly associated with that? And so there's a lot of different data, and throughout the week we're going to look at different aspects of this, I think, because there's so many good things in here.
Oh, wow.
But the primary one we looked at today was, it's not who you're with, but the dynamic you have with them. So Joel and Eastwick said, of course, how a relationship goes will be very much related to who you choose. Not any random partner will make you happy, but the experience of the relationship is what matters most in satisfaction. Put another way, many people think they need to find a good match for their personality and interests and such, but that's just not true, according to the data. It says, suppose you're using an online dating service, looking for a lot of profile pictures and potential partners. These findings suggest you're not going to know much about who you would be happy with by knowing a lot of basic details about a potential date. As he argued in here, you're going to learn the most about a possible fit between you and another person by what you actually experience with that person. As in, on a dating app, if you're compatible, it really doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters, but it doesn't. I think there's certain things that do matter for us as Christians, but it's the experience of the relationship, not the compatibility, that matters. And we've been chatting about that fact for a while.
Pamela said, lunch with his wife? Now you're hitting hard on the psyche game.
See? See how intensely competitive
we want to
she is?
hang out.
She tries to be like, oh, I'm not competitive. She is so competitive. I thought I was competitive.
We want to hang out.
She went back to practice all the way to Amish country. She's going to take my wife out to lunch.
I was
to try
doing
to
so
start
good.
jump.
My son even said, Ma, like I was in front of them. I had to stop the boat and wait for them. And he was like, Ma, okay, you made your point. Like, you're fast. Ken says, Jannelle's feeling feisty this morning, I see. I'm not feisty. I'm just, I don't
She's
know.
putting down a lot of money to win this canoe trip that's not a race.
That's, hey, we don't got to be a race. It's not even about the race. It's about
It was
race.
about
Who knows how to
who still likes each other at the end of the trip.
Oh, yeah, it'll be me and Lynn all day.
Just like last time?
We've gone canoeing many, many times. Thank you. We have. Even Lynn was like, yo, I don't know why we struggled that
I'm sorry,
last
I
time.
thought that the last trip you had difficulty in your relationship.
No, yeah, the last one. It doesn't mean we can't canoe together. Thank you. Mike says, in our culture, the initial attraction is physical. Mostly if that isn't there, any meetup never happens. Eventually the common likes may or may not matter. It's going on the first date that's most difficult. I agree with the physical, but there's also the little common interests and common friends maybe. Like that's what starts even the discussion and the attraction. You didn't disagree, right? Mike, can paddles be considered a weapon? Yes, in my family, yeah. Like we had to watch my kids use the paddle, and we were like outraged and shocked. So yeah, but we won't do that.
You're so funny.
So what you agreed that in the beginning it's like that, right?
I think you can't negate the importance of physical attraction. However, it can't be the end-all be-all, obviously, because people change over time. I mean, in the case of Sarah and me, we get better over time.
Of course.
In the case of Jannelle and Len.
Especially Sarah.
So, it does matter initially. I think you have to have some physical attraction. I think for Christians, being with another believer is a non-negotiable for the long term.
How do you know you're going to have things to talk about or experiences to share together? That's the main concern with the compatibility thing. Like, are we going to want to be in the same circles, do the same thing? How are you going to share a life with someone that's like, I don't even like the things you like? You're not even friends with people that are like that, usually.
I don't know though. I think I would have been excessively bored marrying someone who loved music, so that all we could do is talk about the thing that we love together.
You say that now.
Yeah.
But usually you connect to what people.
I said it then. I was like, you know what? I don't want this.
No.
It's boring to me to have someone agree with me and everything.
What else do you like?
Being home.
Okay, so would you have married someone that's like, I don't like to be at the house. I want to be out doing stuff.
Sarah likes to be out doing stuff. I married her.
So you're telling me for all your interests, you were like, I don't want anybody that likes, I don't want to share interests with the person that I'm going to spend my life with.
Sarah and I mean, I'd have to really psychoanalyze the relationship, but we didn't have a lot in common. We didn't. Mm-hmm. I was into music. She wasn't. She was into cheerleading.
No. But you said you intentionally said, I don't want to be with someone that likes the things I like. Yeah. That's usually opposite to what we naturally seek in relationships, which is, oh my gosh, you love history too? That's so cool. And you end up talking about history a lot.
It just shows uncommon wisdom, does it not?
What? Oh my God! Please. But do you see how that's not usually natural? The people that you're like, wow, 3 hours have gone by. And I didn't even realize it. It's because you're talking about
life.
But you intentionally said, I don't want to talk to people that like the things that I like.
The primary things in my life at that time, yeah, I was not interested in someone all into that.
Okay.
But see, you're talking all tough over there. What do you and Len have in common?
Okay. We're very
So what did
opposite.
you talk about, Jannelle?
But I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say, it wasn't like I was in college saying, I don't want somebody, oh, you like to read? I don't want to talk to you. You like to converse? I don't want to talk to you. It wasn't intentional. It was because I was focused on the bigger rocks. So I ended up with someone that is different.
So what, he's got to be fine and love Jesus?
No, well, he is fine. He is fine. Saying, no. When I met him, it was like, oh yeah, he looks good. But what connected me to him was the big rocks. He loved children. Like when he went and visited Rhode Island for the first time, my sisters who were 10 years younger and my cousins like gravitated to him, and he would take them out soccer playing. He loves his mom, and those were the things I focused on. I didn't intentionally say, oh, you're interested in that stuff that I'm interested in? I don't want to talk to you. That's why I think it's weird that you said, even back then, you intentionally...
Is it weird or is it just smart? But then I have to ask you this, though. Somebody who's in a dating relationship or whatever might look at you and go, you had nothing in common but overall goals. What in the world did you talk about? Because my guess is you were like us. You'd talk for 2 or 3 hours on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
And just, oh, goodbye. No, you hang up. No, you hang up first.
Yeah.
You did that dumb garbage like I did.
Yeah, we did.
So what'd you talk about if you had nothing in common?
We talked about our goals and about our plans for the future.
For 3 hours every day?
I mean, I don't remember the details. You know, you get to know the person and what they're into and what brought you to Ohio. The goals, like in that topic, it wasn't like, history. It was like in that topic I would talk about, I want a big family and the story of what got me here and how my dad, like the theme in my dad's life was education. Those things connected us because he was like, wow, that's deep. Like,
so you really spent time telling your story, not talking about your interests.
I mean, we did the little stuff too. When you're dating.
But isn't that fascinating? I would say we spent a lot of time telling our story of relatives, getting to know each other. Yeah. Had nothing to do with compatibility.
But those big rocks that are compatible stick out. You know what I'm saying? If I would have been all about, my whole family was focused on coming so we could be wealthy, and he would have been like, okay, this is not my thing, because he wasn't all about that.
But you didn't have perfect compatibility in that sense, did you? Were there any things you disagreed on? Big picture? I
was corporate minded. And
like, for example, you would relocate. You would have relocated your family.
I asked him, would you move to France? I'm thinking about moving. I wanted to go, when I thought I was going to work at Ford Motor Company, I wanted to move to the headquarters and work at the headquarters. He's not about that.
So
He's
why didn't you dump him?
Staying here. Because his heart was, I'm supporting your dream. Like, we were just going to figure that out. That is a big one. But he never said, I actually had a boyfriend that said that. He never said I would never do that. He was like, I want to support you. And so we kind of figured it out.
But he's not leaving?
Exactly. But he didn't say that back then. He would not say that back then. What about you guys? Were there big rocks? Were there big rocks for you back then that you disagreed on?
Well, sure, a lot of things, I would guess. I don't...
No, you got to answer that because I gave you one.
No, I mean, we both... it's a long story, but we both were committed to Jesus, eventually.
Yeah.
We,
outside
wanted a family, we both...
Anything you disagreed on, big stuff that you were like, okay. So you're going to think about it? Because I answered yours.
But it's like, we went on a... I don't have a good answer. That's why I'm telling you, like, because people fake it, too. Like, our first date was at a museum, and she pretended like she had a great time.
Yeah.
The last thing she's going to do today is go to a museum with me.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go to a museum? That sounds like boring.
Oh, another thing that we differed on is he was all about working out. And he said before he met me, he wanted a woman that was like all about working out. You could not have gotten somebody that was more away. I was not about that at all. But all the other stuff mattered so much more that he was just like, I was not into sports, and he is.
So what are people saying?
Sarah says, Jannelle, my husband and I were like that. And I do see what you're saying, but I will also say that now, 22 years later, as of Saturday, congratulations, happy anniversary. I do wish we had at least a few hobbies in common. But didn't he change a little bit, or you change? For example, Len is all about the outdoors and camping and biking. I hated the outdoors. Like in school, my school was very big about let's have class outside or going on cabin trips every year. Super annoying. I hated it. Climbing mountains. But Len changed that part of me.
She's a diva.
Changed it. Like I went to Mohican all by myself.
She's a diva.
But what I'm saying is you change as you're together.
Sure.
And you discover new things.
Actually, doesn't life and experience bring about new common interests?
Yeah.
Like for Sarah and I, we've really gotten interested in like design projects for the house and doing projects like that together. We like doing it.
Yeah. And it's something that you've changed as you've
And we
gotten
both
together.
like watching series together on Netflix. Like, what's wrong with that? It doesn't have to be profound.
Yeah, yeah. Herman, what's up? I haven't seen your name.
That's my guy Herman. That's Poppy.
Oh, that's cool.
That's one of the many grandparents my children have.
Aw.
Poppy's here.
Herman says, it may start with the physical, but you have to have something that's going to sustain the relationship for years.
Herman's got all the wisdom on marriage. Sarah and I were in their marriage group, teaching everybody about marriage. Herman knows what's up. Basically, you need to take a class from Herman.
That's
right. You know what you're doing. So glad to see her, Poppy.
Tina says on YouTube, when you don't share interests, you get to experience new things. It can be super fun. I agree. I would never have been all about Mohican and the outdoors and camping if it wasn't for Len. And he also says he's an introvert. And he loved that I was an extrovert. And I got to pull him sometimes out of the house. But he says, if I didn't have you, he was like, my life would be kind of boring because I would, like if he had another introvert. So in a way, the complementing works. Just like he's detail-oriented and I'm a mess. Pamela says, I got married to a guy that had his own interests and I had mine. We both did like outdoors in the water. What we had in common was a desire to have an honest, free to be me, okay to come along, or go your own way in peaceful home life. Traditional values and no kids. That's the big rocks.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about letting the other person, because you may never share the experience, the interests, and just letting a person be who they are.
And you don't have to go do everything together.
Yeah.
Like Sarah's giving me that freedom too, where I don't like going to the beach, and I go sometimes because it's a good family activity. But she'll be like, "I'm taking the kids. You stay here," and be like, "Awesome."
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye.
Kelly says, on paper, my husband and I never would have been a match. We had very different interests, but we spent hours talking. 34 years later, we're still best friends and talk all the time. Ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I still wonder though. And you got to think back to that. Is it Kelly said that?
Mm-hmm.
What were we talking about?
It was a bunch of stuff that didn't matter, and some stuff that did.
Did you do that whole? You hang up first. Did you ever do that?
I don't remember, to be
That's
honest.
a yes.
Probably. I could see me doing that. Yes.
Or you'd sit in silence on the phone for a while.
Aww.
Just want to hear you breathing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so lame.
Sarah says we were long distance for almost 2 years after dating for about 6 months.
Yeah. That's
Wow. Lydia says Christ was our only common ground. We had an online relationship. We've been married for 17 years and we're interested in each other's interests. Kelly says every season of marriage brings change.
But see, isn't this all supporting the research? That it's just not true that you need to find someone who's a good match for you.
Yeah.
Other than the very basics of faith, and probably I'd also add to that whether or not you want children. And then the rest is like whatever. And again, the research discovered that it's not who you're with, but the dynamic you have with them. The experience of the relationship matters most. And that's what everyone on this list is saying.
Yeah.
Everyone on this list.
Hey Ken, and on YouTube, what's up?
It's just so unromantic. We notice that? There's nothing, I mean, it's romantic in hindsight, and it certainly is romantic now. But in terms of how, when you're young, you picture a relationship.
Yeah.
My wife was watching a rom-com on TV the other day. She was watching 20-something dresses, how many?
27 dresses.
27 dresses.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and it was funny. But what a farce! It's like all these things that people measure who would be a good person to be with.
Yeah.
And really, the research says it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Several people commented. Lydia, what's up? Kelly, Sarah. Lydia says if dynamics are important, then we need to be skilled in knowing how to relate with the other person.
That's right. That's right.
Sheila agrees. Her and her husband are very different.
I'm just excited Poppy was here today.
Yeah.
Herman
that's super
Batiste.
cool. What's up, YouTube people? Subscribe. You can always comment. Ken on YouTube is saying the biblical concept of marriage comes out of a time of arranged marriages. So, yeah, biblically speaking, more to marriage